Welcome to BSW's Tech Dive. Tech Dive.
Submerge the ship.
The show goes technically deep into products you care about. The new, the old, the newish. So put on your gear, close up the hatch, and prepare to
Dive. Submerge the ship.
And now, here's John.
Thank you, and welcome to this edition of BSW Tech Dive. I am John Lynch, Director of Business Development here at BSW USA and Broadcast Supply Worldwide. Topic today is HDVMixer 2.0, and this show, for the first time, debuts the brand new BSW Air Cans. Yes, new headphones with disconnectable headphone cord, $149 for a pack of 5. Contact your BSW sales rep for details. Now, let's bring on Alex Bonello, our guest and the president of INSOFT LLC, the creators of HDVMixer, originally back in 2012, but now we're up to 2.0. Alex, give us a little gist of how this evolution came about.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, John. We had this incredible run since 2012, and the product became so popular to automate video production for radio stations at podcast studios. And by 2022, 10 years after the launch of the initial HDVMixer 1.0 product, we started asking ourselves, okay, how would the next 10 years look like for the product and for the industry in general, how visual radio will look like 10 years from now. And we started asking our customers what features they would like to see in any future HDVMixer product. And customers started telling us, okay, why don't you try to make it simpler for producers to use? And others were telling us, okay, make it simpler to configure, maybe a little bit more. Some others would say, okay, make it simpler to automate new microphones that we have in the studio. Others would ask us to make it simpler to create new shows. Others wanted us to make it simpler to control multiple markets from a centralized location.
But they all started with the same phrase, Alex, why don't you
make it simpler? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the theme of all the comments we were getting was make it simpler. Right?
Well, here's one that you already have made simpler. And I can appreciate this being the old sportscaster type, not the producer, engineer, director type. Because for somebody that's new to this and they want to start recording, look at that. You hit the start recording button. What a concept. And then it says stop recording when it's recording. So when you want to stop recording, you hit the stop recording button. Thank you. Well done.
That's right. So basically, we redesigned the user interface, the user experience. We brought it to the web because that's how you can control multiple markets from a unified user interface. You can connect to any HDVMixer system in any studio in any market through the internet with encrypted connection. So you log in with username and password, and then you select which station or studio you want to connect to, and boom, you are in there. The fact of now being a web product, although all the video rendering still happens on premise in the HDVMixer server for that studio, cameras connect to that server, and all video rendering and recording happens locally on premise. All the user interaction is web-based. So it's a hybrid product. It's a hybrid solution, if you will. You get the best of both worlds. And we simplified a user interface that had 16 different windows. Each window with all their buttons and configurations. We brought all that down to 3 buttons. just 3 buttons, and one of those 3, it's the recording button, as you correctly pointed out,
Thank
John.
you.
Then we have one to enable or disable the AI mode, which runs the show automatically, does the camera switching automatically, switches shows automatically, starts streaming to social media platforms when the show starts, ends when the show ends, starts and stops the recording if you want also to automate that. And we have a third button to enable and disable the preview mode, which is something that previously we didn't have, and now we have both program buses and preview bus, so that you can check and adjust your PTC cameras off air. So that has been a huge milestone, and now we simplify the product. Actually, we believe that now it's a zero configuration kind of automation. You just configure the cameras, the audio input, audio outputs, and that's it. You configure it once, and the system will run the shows, and will automate mostly the entirety of your shows.
Now that brings
changing.
up a question, because your company has always done something on the first year of the software licensing. You've offered, and customers have taken great advantage of it, free tech service or tech support for a full year, unlimited. Does this change maybe reduce the amount of unlimited tech support that a client may need?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and this is one of the reasons why we did it. We have clear and great top-notch tech support, but we found out that sometimes customers would be too dependent on us, right? To create a new show, let's say they had, I don't know, 2 or 3 shows on a Saturday, they want to add a third one, and they have a real estate show, and now they have to create a car enthusiast show, and the only difference are the name of the host, the co-host, and the logo of the show, but all the rest is the same. So now you can click and clone a show and just change the logo and the names of these people that are running the show, and that's it.
So the end user,
whereas in the past it was much more involved. You had to contact tech support, and we will have to help you out with all that.
To sum it up then, Alex, for end users, they're creating additional shows quicker on HDV 2.0 than they were on HDV 1.0.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we came up not only with AI camera switching, right? But also with a concept that we call object-oriented video production, OOVP, object-oriented video production. So the system knows, and it has a relationship between each camera, each microphone, and each person in the studio. So if Joe is talking into microphone 1, the system knows that he has to show camera 1, because that's the camera pointing towards Joe, right? And the same goes for Anita, that maybe she's on microphone 2 and camera 2 is pointing towards Anita. So once the system knows the relationships between these objects in the studio, then all the switching happens automatically. And you don't have to tell the system to do anything, because he already knows, oh, okay, camera 1 is pointing towards microphone 1, camera 2 is pointing towards microphone 2. So, okay, if Joe is sitting in front of mic 1 and Anita is sitting in front of microphone 2, okay, I know what is it that I have to do when both of them are talking, when only one of them is talking, and it will do the split screen and switch to whatever camera it needs to use at any given point during the show.
And let's point out something here, Alex, when it comes to HDV 2.0. Grammatically, that's not correct. It should be HDV 2.0, but nobody calls James Bond 007, so it's going to be HDV 2.0. There you go.
There you
anyway,
go.
But also, let's point out, for all of the many, and I mean many, users out there of HDV 1.0. If you like your HDV 1.0, you can keep your HDV 1.0.
Yeah, that's great that you bring that up. So basically, if you have 1.0 and you like what you have, and again, once it's configured, it's perfectly fine, right? It's doing what you want the system to do. It's automating your video productions for visual radio. That's it. You are not forced to change to 2.0. And by the way, there's no cost in upgrading. Okay, all the upgrades are also complementary. Yeah, each station choose to whether to update or not. For stations that have multiple markets, I think it's quite of a game changer 2.0, because for instance, all your media assets, you load them into HDVMixer 2.0 once, and they are available through all your multiple markets or studios. So for a multi-studio, multi-market broadcast company, that makes a ton of sense. And also all the configuration files, all the graphics, all the video reels, all the clips, all those live in our cloud. So that means that if you have any kind of hacking attack, or the hard drives from your HD mixer servers die, you don't have to do almost anything. You just install HD mixer from scratch, enter your station ID code, and the system will pull from our cloud all those assets and the entire configuration that station had. So it brings a lot of peace of mind for many uh, broadcast engineers that have to regularly do backups nowadays, and that's a non-issue moving forward.
Well, the good news is, too, for people who looked at HDV 1.0, looked at the original version and thought, oh, it's just a little bit more complicated than I can do. And let's be fair, all of the Tech Dive shows that we have done, that I've hosted, Alex, you made it happen. Okay. But maybe with 2.0, I can do it myself. But that's the point, is that with 2.0, there's a simpler way to go about it. You can get used to it in a faster sense. So for new customers, you're getting HDV 2.0. Whereas if you're already existing with HDV 1.0, you can stay with that or upgrade. Either way, you're not paying any extra.
That's correct. Yeah, and for new customers, we're not even asking, right? Yeah, if you're a new customer, you get HDVMixer 2.0, except if you are asking us to get 1.0, maybe because you are already a customer from us, and you already have some studios with 1.0, and you want a new studio to be exactly identical to all the others. But yeah, if you don't have a really specific need, yeah, HDV 2.0 is the way to go. And also with 2.0 as the user interface, it's a web browser based. We can offer any prospective customer, any interested in learning more about HDVMixer, we can offer them a username and a password. They can log into hdvmixer.com, click on the login button, and with this username and password that we can give them, they can access one of the demo stations that we have. So they can play around with the cameras, do recordings, add their own logos, and get a feel of how easy it is to.
Or as we used to say in advertising, try before you buy.
Absolutely, try before you buy. Yeah, totally. That's it.
Well, and I got to give you credit, Alex, because you did one other thing. When you were getting all of those "why don't you" questions, you asked me, what would I suggest? And what did I suggest? Have this ready for the NAB show in Las Vegas, and you did. So well done there.
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely. It was a great advice. Yeah, launch it
Thank
at
you.
the
Just
NAB
remember
show,
that it was
and
great advice from the old sportscaster. It can happen.
no, you have ton of experience in this industry. So we did just that, and it exploded. Yeah, the amount of traction that the new version had was incredible. Yeah, and certainly we have a huge customer base, more than 1,200 systems worldwide. So we're just tapping those customers with the new version. But well, that's the goal for the next part of this year, and probably the first part of the next one.
Well, Alex, has been a great ride for BSW with HDV 1.0 and you, and we're looking for an even longer and better run with HDV 2.0. Thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure, John.
Alex Bonello from INSOFT LLC and the creators of HDVMixer, now HDV 2.0 or HDV 2.0. Anyway, John Lynch here, BSW Tech Dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.